On Tuesday, May 12th, agency representatives from all over the state traveled to Fresno to participate in an environmental justice bus tour hosted by the Fresno Environmental Reporting Network. The tour allowed the participants an opportunity to talk about various topics including toxics, illegal dumping, pesticides, air monitoring, community benefit agreements, and the drought.
So happy to see all of you here today here in my backyard. I've lived in Cal. I actually live one street over on 10 for the last, almost 30 years now. Iowa is completely encircled by the city of Fresno, so we are a county island. And we also have a wonderful government structure where half of our neighborhood is part of the city of Fresno, and the other half is part of the county. So where you're standing today is the county. If you cross over east of Cedar, then you're in the city. And then you're also standing in a county service area, which provides our street lights and a special park district.
How do we get these local residents to actually have a say in what they want in their community after there's been a place like this that has been neglected and the owner didn't even know that he actually owned it for a very long time?
Before I start off, I know that we've got some agencies here on the bus as well as EJ advocates, so it's great that everybody's on the same bus and that we're all having some really good healthy discussions.
This is the community of Tombstone Territory. Here the idea is to talk about water issues, challenges of unincorporated communities and the drought.
I get water from over there from my neighbor, and I get water from this water. My neighbor here, she turned water to the man who rented me here. He pumped the water so I can get water. Boiling and rinsing a little bit water, like hot water, no cold water. And
a lack of basic infrastructure, as you see. I don't know if this is the first time that most of you have come to an unincorporated disadvantaged community, but as you will basically see, we are in the dirt. Most of us who are coming from a little ranchito in Mexico or from other areas that are in basic conditions. We even seen in our own communities that there is kind of like the lack of necessity, and we see the same conditions here in the U.S., right? First world country under third world conditions, right?
When we are talking about dry well response across the county, we have had a number of individuals who are homeowners who have dry wells. And as many of you might know, we have hundreds of thousands of residents, low income as well as people who are not low income, remote rural people who have wells as their primary source of drinking water. And the water that comes out of private wells is not regulated for quality. It is really up to the person who owns that well to conduct all of their testing themselves. And in terms of quantity of that water, they're also responsible for rehabilitating that well if it goes dry, or dealing with whatever the fallout is of a lack of drinking water coming out of their well.
The Tombstone territory, if Sanger was willing to apply on behalf of those residents to bring water supply out to those residents, they could apply for our funding. We're limited, just like USDA, to $500,000 for any emergency project. And a project to bring water supply out a mile from Sanger clearly is more than a $500,000 project. And it takes a significant amount of planning. And so we're looking really, we need to find ways to bring interim water supplies such as those tanks to these areas that are at least close to some municipal water systems.
I'm here on this environmental justice tour to learn about the different environmental injustices that exist here in the Central Valley, and try to connect with people and see how we can share information and also share the stories of a lot of these people that are living in these conditions. I think it's a real tragedy that this is happening, and like somebody said earlier, we're supposedly living in a first world, but there's a lot of people here living in third world conditions, right? And a lot of these people are low-income people of color. So hopefully with these tours, I learned something and I'm able to connect with people and get a little bit more involved in this.
The demographics here are, they're very low. I mean, we have I mean, they have a yearly income of maybe $12,000 a year. And so this is where a lot of our residents here struggle. So we try to offer as many services as possible for the folks that live here. We also have a Cal Home rehab program. And through this program, we're able to offer a loan to the residents to build or to fix up their homes, to fix anything that's a health and safety concern. And a lot of the fixes actually include putting air conditioning. A lot of these homes don't have air conditioning. They run with swamp coolers. And in the Fresno, when the Fresno heat gets up to 100 and over 100 degrees, a swamp cooler doesn't do anything.
The bus tour stopped for lunch in the city of Parlier, where city officials met with the participants to talk about various programs that the city is currently hosting and also to share some very real necessities that the city has. The conversation focused on acquiring more resources to serve as catalysts for job creation and active transportation projects across the community. Also in Parlier, a group of residents led by Jose Espinosa, chairman of the Parlier Fact-Finding Committee, talked about a recent case where their organizing and data gathering efforts led the way in signing a community benefits agreement with a local box making facility seeking an expansion. The agreement resolved many environmental concerns and serves to show the power of community organizing. The case also shows the positive effect that collaboration among engaged residents, responsive city officials, and responsible business owners can have in a community.
We are now moving towards more the rural area of the county.
The Fresno County uses more pesticides, 27 million pounds of pesticides in Fresno County every year. And I'm sure that's a broad category and includes herbicides and fungicides, and I'm sure that's the whole sum of it.
We know that agriculture is vital to our economy. You know that our crops go out to all over the world, not just the United States, but all over the world. And it's something to be proud of, but it's looking at what pesticides can do to human health. That's something that we can't ignore. But we do know that pesticides are carcinogens. There are pesticides that are known carcinogens. We know that pesticides attribute to respiratory health. We know that pesticides also attribute to chronic asthma. And we also know that certain pesticides do cause neurological disorders.
But we want things to be sustainable here.
We know that there are alternatives to pesticides.
Instead of using pesticides, we're trying to cultivate habitats for beneficial insects.
So we have a K-12 campus. So we kindergarten all the way to 12. Our enrollment is 224 students currently. And each class is going to have a small garden. And we're going to be bringing in a teacher that's dedicated to nothing but integrating what we're doing in agriculture into our classroom. The ultimate dream that I have is that this is a training center where teachers, individuals, educators from all over would come here, would spend days here walking, learning, seeing, and be able to take this back. So it's not just something we're doing to bless our kids, but we can hopefully help other campuses and individuals all over.
What I see is that the model is serving its purpose. You know, we see an enormous amount of collaboration. Every bus tour that I participate as the model expands, you know, it's gone from its initial beginnings in Imperial County and traveled its way north, and now, you know, we've seen it here in Fresno. But it's just an amazing feeling to see that so much government, and especially at the local levels, because there's a lot that can be done at the local levels, that is participating. But you know, like today, you know, I see a great opportunity. You know, we get to see the issues that are affecting the community. It's great to be here and just seeing the Ivan task forces and the problem solving happening as we tour the different communities. And I know there'll be results.